My friend was highly interested in buying this deep impact blue 2016 Shelby GT350. The car looked beautiful in the pictures, and it was everything you would think that a low mile car would be. It only had 12,000 miles on it. It was a technology package car, so it had the trans cooler and the oil cooler. Tires looked like they were still pretty good, and the paint looked beautiful all down the side. It had Recaro seats as well. The only thing was, the seller said to my friend, I should probably tell you that the car was hit by a motorcycle one time, and it had some body work done, but the paint looks really good and you would never know. So my friend, being very meticulous, looked into the matter, and he found the body shop where the work was done, and he asked them if they had any pictures of the repairs, and he said, oh yeah, I remember that car very well. We have a lot of pictures. We documented everything. So he sent him the file, and this is what he saw when he opened the file. The whole side of the car had been completely torn apart. The back quarter panel had to be completely replaced. They had to get a brand new quarter panel, cut it off at the roof line, weld it in. There was a lot of damage to this car. And these are the pictures of when it came to them. This side wasn't so bad. It did have some things that had to be fixed on that side, but the tire was shredded, the wheel was messed up, the front was bashed in really bad. And the worst part about the front being hit like that is right where the oil cooler is for the engine, and it will drain all the oil out of the engine and ruin the engine if you're not careful. So as you can see, there was some pretty bad damage. The car had the whole front of it taken apart and had to have a lot of things cut and welded, and these are just some of the pictures of the kick plate by the door jamb and all the stuff they had to take off. Even the fuel cap had to be replaced, and if you know, the fuel cap doesn't really have a cap, it just has that whole insert thing. And so all these parts were very expensive to replace. Of course, it's a new car as well. The shop had a lot of the documentation and paperwork on all of this, and they looked, and the oil cooler was damaged. This is the oil cooler, and the door was damaged very badly, but they repaired the door. And so replacing the oil cooler and fixing everything, buying new panels. This was the front fender, and they're expensive on those cars. Just there's the damaged oil cooler right there, bent in half almost. But all this work cost $28,000 in repairs. This is the door where the mirror goes. So as you can guess, this car was almost totaled. You could see the wheel was jacked up really bad, and they just had to totally disassemble and repair the car to get it back on the road. So the car was on an alignment rack, and it looked pretty good. They got everything all back together. They got the car repainted, and as you can see in the other pictures, it looked pretty good. This is the wheel choice that the owner decided to go ahead and buy a whole new set of wheels since the other ones were jacked up pretty bad. So when you look at a car for sale, you might not know what it's been through and what's been done to it to repair it. This car only had 12,000 miles on it. The accident happened at around 11,000 miles, so there wasn't much on it since the accident. But my friend had looked at a lot of salvage title GT350s, and I do have another video of one that I'm going to share because it was very interesting. But this time he was looking at this car that was not salvage title, and he had found out through his research that the car was $500 to $700 away from being totaled. So the car had a clear title, but it had $28,000 worth of damage. So I find that extremely interesting, and even when he wasn't looking for a salvage title car, he almost got one. So my friend almost bought the car. He set up arrangements to get the car shipped to him, or the guy actually was going to make a trip down this way and said he could bring the car with him. But my friend was still asking him information about the accident, and the guy said he didn't have any pictures. And so my friend had told him that he contacted the body shop and they sent him all these pictures, and the guy got really angry with him. And he said some really rude things about how this was all illegal for my friend to do this, and he should have asked for his consent before he talked to the body shop. And I don't think that's illegal in any way. I don't see how you can't ask a body shop to show some pictures of a car that you are agreeing to purchase when the seller didn't have any pictures of the accident. So I don't know what that was all about. I don't want to say anything bad about the seller that I don't know, because I don't know the person, but I thought that was kind of rude of him to say that to my friend. And blow up at him. And so in the end, the deal was off and my friend bought another Shelby. But this was a very interesting thing. And I think the seller could have told my friend, if he wasn't going to supply him with any pictures or get the pictures from the body shop, he should have at least told him that the whole side of the car was destroyed and that it all had to be replaced. So anyway, 12,000 mile car, lots of accident history, $28,000 worth. I couldn't believe it. I thought this was a very interesting story. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned. I'll have some more stories about the other Shelby and more Mustang stories.